So there has been a lot of weird stuff happening in the lads community recently, and I feel like I should talk about it. So recently, I feel like because of the popularity that lads has been gaining, a lot of like regular main streamers has been covering lads, mostly reacting to it, which I personally think it's kind of lame. If you're gonna play the game, right? Don't make videos reacting to the video game. But the current discussion that has been kind of weird, that I feel I should talk about it, is that people have been calling lads a gooner game, basically. Gamer bros specifically. A lot of gamer bros on Twitter have been calling lads a gooner game. And this was specifically triggered because recently lads has added a period tracker, I believe, and some other stuff, which has gained like traction, I guess, in Twitter spaces. I don't frequent Twitter. I kind of hate Twitter recently. Twitter tends to be very toxic, even if you're in popular fandoms. But this has been like being talked about a lot in my feed currently. People have been calling it a gooner game. And obviously, lads players have been very much upset at this, saying like, oh, why is this a gooner game? Period tracks are a very normal thing for women, right? I mean, I have a lot of women in my life. 90% of my audience is primarily of women. And obviously, period trackers aren't really like a sexy thing. It's more about comfort. It's really going through a rough patch because of your hormones, and that can be where some affirmations, comfort, that kind of like ASMR adjacent comfort relationship can be helpful, right? But there has been a lot of weirdness on both sides, which I want to talk about. This is the first one. I think this is weird. I think these guys that I think like this is supposed to be like, again, lads is a very horny game. I've been playing lads for about 8 months. I was very early into it when it came out and became like kind of a mainstream thing. And I've been streaming it on Twitch and YouTube. On YouTube recently, I've only been streaming on YouTube recently. But I've been streaming it on Twitch for over 8 months, I believe. I'm currently level 53. And I have a lot of the stories completed, right? I only play it on stream, so I save a lot of my reactions. People say, oh, you only played a few hours. Yes, well, I have work. I don't have a lot of time to grind a gacha game. I don't play any game like that, right? But on the other side, there has been a lot of discourse as well because of that. And I said jokingly, right? You guys know how my humor works. I say, hey, I think it's a gooner game. You know, I think it's a horny game. I said, it's a gooner game because of the whimpering and the nightly review. The last patch on Christmas was kind of spicy. They really wanted to make some money. And, you know, this is not because the only thing that I thought which was kind of like an off mark when they released the period tracker was like, oh, I wouldn't give my information to a live service that could be leaked, which happens frequently. But that's you. It doesn't bother you. Why would you care? And again, like, you know, there's data leaks all over the place. So this is not like it would be the only place that it could happen. But like, it's a dating scene catered to women. How is that any surprise? Right? And this is where the other side came from. Because a lot of people have saying, oh, why is wanton intimacy is considered like a gooner thing? Which I meant gooner is horny. I'm 28. So like, I thought gooner was like kind of like supposed to be like horny game, like a horny fan servicey like gooner game. But also, maybe that's just me. Maybe that was my bad. But again, I have no issue with it. I play lads. I have no issue. I make ASMR. I make spicy content. If it's something that gives you comfort, if it's something that makes you feel better. I've said this about my own ASMR. I've said this about like female ASMR streamers. I've said this about many things. I make spicy content. Been making it for longer than lads is the thing. If you find comfort in this, personally, I see it as a net positive because, again, the world is already rough as it is, right? But at the same side, I think because it's supposed to be like a Yumeoshi kind of game, it's supposed to be a game where it kind of fosters this kind of parasocial relationship. A lot of girls have been acting like lads is not a horny game. Like, oh, it's just intimacy and wholesomeness. And why are you criticizing it? First of all, I'm not criticizing. I play lads. I like lads. I think it's a fun game. I'm not the target audience for it. I know they don't have any plans to make like, you know, same-sex relationships with that kind of stuff. That's a whole different discussion. But I can still appreciate a good story. I can still appreciate a fun game. You know what I mean? I've been streaming this for months now. I've been playing it for a while. And, you know, I'm not going to say that lads is a safe for, oh, it's just intimacy. This is not the only comment, by the way. There have been a few comments, even weird comments. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't know about this. Why this person is bringing this up. That's kind of weird. But like, oh, that's not what a gooner is. Don't come at me saying like that. You know what I mean? Lads is a very horny game. And you can say, oh, I'm just twirling my hair. And I don't think this is horny. Come on. Would you watch this in front of your family? Would you watch this with no headphones on? Be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? And this is, again, I've been seeing this on Twitter. I've been seeing this on Twitter a lot, where it has been fostering a lot, not just to the guys. This is just one thing. But I've seen like people be very abrasive and toxic to other fans of lads, to other women fans of lads, just because they've said a joke about their like love interests. You know what I mean? There's a reason why they give you 5 options. You can choose whichever one you want, or all of them, right? But I think it has been, especially on Twitter, a very toxic kind of fandom has been building, especially now that lads has been gaining some traction from both sides, which I don't think it's nice. I think it's a fun game, and I think, like I've said before, I praise lads for being like one of the first games that is like really catered to women the same way there's plenty of these sort of like fan service horny games catered to men, right? I like this. I think there should be more, and you know, that are mainstream. There is more, but they're usually not nearly the size of lads, right? But I feel like if you're a fan of this game, you should like really be careful, you know what I mean, with how you act to other fans of the thing, or not, to people that are not like from the community as well, because again, you don't want to become the stereotype of the gooner guy that really like has no distinction between what a waifu game is in reality and treats those waifus like they're real people that can get offended and like will go above and beyond and like call people slurs and shit, which I've seen it happen to me because of these visual novel games, right? So that's just something that I feel like I should talk about, because again, I'm kind of that in between section. I like the game. I've been playing the game a lot on stream, right? I've been playing this for over 8 months by now, making clips, making highlights. And at the same time, I'm also a guy. I know I'm not the target audience for it. So, you know, maybe that's a different POV of something that I feel like it should be talked about. Anyway, that's just it, really. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was something no talking about, something that should be talked about.